Welcome back to the episode. This is the StackStorm Technical Deep Dive. I'm Rick Coffin, Global TME over here at HP Aruba Networking. Now, in today's episode, we are going to be talking about some really cool StackStorm stuff. Packs. We're going to dive into what a pack is, all the files that make up a pack, and how we can build our own packs and manage them. So let's take a look at how that's done. Let's get started.
Okay, we're going to start building a pack, and we don't have it in our editor, so we're going to have to go get it. Now, we're going to use a pack that I've already created for you. So if you go out to, we're going to call this up, and we say github.com/xod442. That's me. Stack um, stack storms API. So a StackStorm, I mean, if you just go here, I think you'll get to my repos, and um, you can run over here, look at my repos. You're not going to see the same thing, but this is where you want to get to right here. So this URL is right there. So go to github.com xod442 stackstorm-swappy, and you'll end up here. Now, this is the pack that I want to walk you through. You can make this from scratch if you want. I've already put it together, so we can kind of slip through this pretty quick. But we're going to take it line by line and go over this. So what you're going to want to do, you're going to want to get this, and you're going to want to be where we have our StackStorm stuff, and that was in our opt directory. Remember, not /opt. That's a whole other place, but in our own personal opt folder. And here is where we have all of our StackStorm stuff. We are going to get clone that pack so we can work on it. So we want to develop a pack. Going forward in the future, you can just use this pack to start any brand new pack you want to do. This is already put together for you. So just pull it down and just modify it. That's what I do. It's super easy, super simple, okay? So, but to get this, to clone it, we come over here to code, and we just copy this right here. So HTTPS, copy that. So it's copied now. We can close the browser and just go back to our command line, get clone, and we paste in the clone link. Just like that, swappy get. And when we do, it's going to go out and pull that down. So if we look, we have now a StackStorm swappy pack. And if we go over to our editor and look there, we might have to close this and open it back up. We will have a swappy pack right there. And so that's our pack. We've got it, and now we can start getting some work done on it. Now, usually I will, if I'm cloning this and I'm going to just copy it, make another pack of it, you might want to get rid of the .get folder, right? And so your first commit, it'll generate a brand new one for you. So we got the classic stuff here, actions, our rules, and everything else. So again, remember, this is the file that we use to put this into the StackStorm configs, so we have something to read from the config file. I can show you real quick. Here's a Splunk one. And if we go and look at the Splunk example, these are all the things that we have to tell Splunk to talk to Splunk, right? A couple of things there. You can see it if we're talking to Morpheus. I've got the same Morpheus YAML example, the host that we're going to talk to, the username, the password. If we have an encrypted database, we might throw our database passwords in there. So that's the stuff that goes into this example file. And really, I'm just have the base URL. We don't have to authenticate to the swappy. If we did, we'd have a username and password in here. But that's what we're going to set up there. Requirements are all the things we're going to use for requirements. Now, if you look at this Nimble, I'm using the Nimble SDK, and I'm using another Python library called Daytime. So that's the kind of stuff you go in there. The stuff that you would usually pip install, well, that's where StackStorm uses it. It keeps it in that requirements text folder. So when it builds the virtual environment for your pack, it just basically knows what to go out and pip install into that. Your README file should be as elaborate as you can make it with as much information as you can pack into it. Like if you look on my 3-par one here, on this README up here, I got a bunch of instructions, and this is just MD, the markdown. So it's just a way of making a file look nice, a text file. So you might want to go pick that little skill up. It's not too terribly difficult, but that's my README file for this pack, StackStorm Swappy. To install it, we're just simply going to say from the Docker container that's running the client, we're going to say st2 pack install, and this is the URL without the .get. So that's exactly our get clone. We're actually doing a pack install from a GitHub repo and not from the Exchange. If you take your pack that you make and you issue a pull request to the Exchange and they bless your code, you can get your pack on the Exchange, and then all we would have to do is say st2 pack install swappy, and it would go right in. But until then, and we have our packs out on our GitHub accounts, this is how we're going to install this pack. Okay? And so away we go. So let's see here. Use StackStorm GUI to set credentials for the pack once it's installed. Well, there are no credentials, so let's just get rid of that. We'll just say, here we'll say, this pack does not require authentication. Woo. Okay, so that's that. So that's our README file. The pack YAML is a little YAML file that gives the pack its name, gives it a description, some keywords, what version you're kicking off with, Python versions, who wrote it, your email, if you so choose to share that information. A license file, I'm using the Apache 2.0. You can use the MIT license here. It's whatever you think is appropriate there. Under the license, I just usually go out and find a JPEG somewhere or a GIF image or whatever and use this to make my little icon for it. And then this file really just basically says what the example file is really doing. That's as close as I can tell you what that does. And then I have a changes MD in there, and usually when I'm in this beginning phase, it'll be just 010. Right, so that's all the miscellaneous files that we need to kind of make sure that are in our pack and ready to go. And seeing as how we just clone this off the GitHub repo, all of it's there for us. If we're making a new pack, of course we would go in there and change these files. But right now, this is the way it has to look to make it work. Okay, so we're going to cover next up. We're going to talk about how we get the pack installed and how we get the pack to authenticate. So, okay, we're going to cover that then. And so stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next chapter.